When you think of the more prominent locals in the FGC today, you usually think of Fighting Tuesday in Tokyo, Japan. Put together by Giuna and Majin Obama, it's one of the most consistent and popular locals we have in the FGC currently. I headed to Nakano to stop by the event and chat with Obama to talk about himself, the gaming culture in Japan, and why Fighting Tuesday was created.
I've lived in Japan I'm coming up on my 8th year. At that time, I wanted a chance to play some of the titles that were out in their most competitive environment, but for a while I wanted to at least come here and see how it was and experience it as, as somebody living here. It's a little bit different when you go someplace on vacation. You go to a foreign country and it's like a getaway for you. Whole different story to put yourself in that environment, force yourself to try to study and learn language like that. And then the reward, of course, for me was to always be able to go in the arcade and be able to play these games in the most competitive environment in the world, I think, for a lot of those titles at the time. The arcade culture is still very much a thing here for a lot of these games. And I think as we've entered an era where developers now have started to kind of walk away from it, it kind of put the community here in an awkward position. Maybe one where they've been like forced to evolve, right? The problem is there haven't always been the resources and things available to them to be able to best suit that required evolution. However, in the past, I'd say 3 to 4 years has been a big change. In particular, the biggest change has been venues like this one. This was not here 4 to 5 years ago when maybe some other titles were coming out with our arcade version. So now that it is here, and now you do have a venue like this one, and maybe a couple others, there's an offline gathering space where you can recreate that arcade experience, that arcade feel. Our culture in the West, if nothing else, we've got ballrooms and hotels with ballrooms attached to them, right? There's a plethora of those wherever you go. You can be in Tyler, Texas, and you'll still be able to find a ballroom somewhere. Japan doesn't quite have that culture. Obviously, because of space, cost, there aren't a lot of places to really set up and bring consoles to go play like that. And the other thing is, traditionally, it's just not in your culture here to just go over to somebody's house and play like that. You have to be very close with some people, and maybe younger generation here, it's okay. But traditionally, it's not something that is done a lot. Having a venue like this, that for this community, for all the communities that gather here throughout the week, that's a godsend. That's a big deal because it gives them a place to be able to set up offline, run in the same way they would be able to at an arcade or a game center, right?
With less and less games getting arcade releases in Japan, there became more of a need for gathering places for players. And with a huge game like Dragon Ball FighterZ on the horizon, Giuna and Obama seized an opportunity to give them one.
Me and Giuna were like, man, Dragon Ball's coming out, they're not gonna make an arcade version. Kind of want to play it, at least, learn to mess around with it. Where do you play though? Well, there weren't really too many good options. And this is something that's been a theme, I think, with my mindset, but I think a lot of other people's mindset too in fighting in community recently is, I'm tired of depending on other people to give me that opportunity. Fuck it, man, just run it ourselves. Let's set it up ourselves. So it took a little bit of money at first, some resources, and some goodwill. But we were able to set up the first event and we just kind of started running it from there. And eventually Bandai Namco approached us and they said, we want to make this an official event. We want to add more titles to it. Obviously we added Soul Calibur and Tekken to it, and since then it's been just growing nonstop. If I said it's been all roses, I'd be lying, right? There were some issues, I think, at first. In fact, truth be told, Fighting Tuesday isn't even the name we came up with. Right? We were blessed with that name, let's say. But something that I think is important to note is, elephant in the room, we're a bunch of immigrants living in Japan running one of the biggest weekly gatherings in the world, certainly one of the biggest in Japan. But I wouldn't say that there was direct pushback in that way. I do notice some things about maybe verbal support, let's say, of this event compared to maybe some others. I do kind of notice that. I'm not blind to that. But for the most part, a lot of the people that come here and play, they're down with that, actually. Something that's funny is that a couple times players have come here, first thing they say is, man, there's a lot of foreigners here. You're damn right. Hey, yeah, because that's what these games are supposed to be about, are they not? No matter who's sitting on the other side, I don't care. I want to play and I want to beat you. I want to learn. I want to get better. And that's kind of the mindset that we brought here. And on the other side, too, a lot of these players are, pro players. They travel all over the world to play these games on a regular basis. It's a good experience for them to be able to come, get a tournament, but then also be able to interface with some people from around the world too. Maybe a little bit of language exchange as well. It's beneficial for them as well. A lot of them, they know that and they come here.
Oh, see, now you're getting cocky. Jonah might take that. He might take that not the right way. Bow and arrow, free hit. Ooh, okay.
It's one.
So what's cool about this is, for every game, we have a competitive environment because of the high-level players that are here, right? But then you also have on the lower end side, the bottom side too, we have beginners, intermediates that come here. Hell, Jonah right back there, we have him every week. He does a beginner training seminar where he sits down with people who don't know anything about Tekken. And from level 0 is willing to walk them through just the fundamentals of the game. And that, even having that sit down in 30 minutes of training and just like tutorial, if you will, with an experienced player like him, we've seen good returns on that and people have been coming back. And that's what I wanted. I thought that was something that I noticed was really precious to me, was when communities take care of themselves, right? When it's not just about the top players looking out for the top players, when it's not just about these people willing to get trying to get a cut of something or whatever. When it's a community that takes ownership of itself. And I wanted to be able to represent that here. I think that's very valuable. And if anything, I think that we need more of that in the West, if anything. These games don't grow if you don't have either A, new players who are thirsty and hungry enough to be able to get in there, but you also need players who are willing to sit down and raise the tide, if you will.
Fighting Tuesday offers tournaments and casuals for Bandai Namco titles such as Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, and Dragon Ball FighterZ, all of which are free to enter. There's no need to bring any setups either, as the venue supplies their own alongside sticks and controllers. When asked if this ease of access was important to the team, Obama had this to say.
How much of conversation about these games on a regular basis that we have is about how do we grow? How do we get bigger? How do we get more people playing this stuff? How do we get, Johnny Donuts off of Fortnite? How do we get him on some Tekken or some real shit, right? That's how. That's your in. You might not have a long time. You might not have a big window. But if they show you that they're interested enough to come out here, right? And it's free. But if they show you that they're interested enough to come out here on a rainy day, you got to be able to have something that seize that opportunity and turn them into a player. Part of understanding and seeing where we are as a community and how things are now is realizing what the outsider sees, being able to see things from that perspective. If you tell somebody who just has a passing interest, right? Again, remember, that window is very small. You don't have much to work with. But if you tell that person, hey, you got to bring a $300 stick, you got to bring a pad you got to go to work, bring your pad. Go to work, bring your arcade stick. And you got to do this, and you got to pay, and then the accessibility is everything. You have to make it easy. You have to have a little bit of hand-holding, I think, for this generation. These games are naturally brutal anyway, man. It's really difficult, I think, to sit down. So I'm gonna sit you down in a chair and be like, hey, you suck. First of all, you move, just everything about you're just trash. That's a very difficult reflection for a lot of people to look into, right? But these games force you to do that all the time. And that's hard. I think that's hard for newer players and newer people. So having that accessibility, having a friendly face, being able to say, hey, you don't know how to play this game? Let me sit down, let me talk to you, let me teach you how. You don't have a stick, you don't have a pad, what do you want to use? We got it. That's very important, especially because a lot of these guys, like I said before, a lot of them just get off work and come here right before the tournament. Having something for them, but also having that accessibility to say, hey, whether you're coming from work, whether you just got out of school, come through and let's play.
Running locals is more than just running brackets. From setting up the stream to making sure everything actually works, there's a lot that needs to get done before players even arrive, and sometimes you need some help.
There's a couple people in the background as well, Kuroken, East, Bobby occasionally, Zerp when he's here. There's 4 other people I want to highlight too, and it's, can't see him now, but Nishi. Nishi was one of the best fangs in Tokyo, and Yamato, the Claudio player, they work here at the venue, and they give us all their support every week. Wouldn't be able to do this event. Nobody would be able to do any event here without them. They're integral to the success of any event being run in this venue. And then 2 more people that I have to give props to, because straight up this event would not be possible without them, is Celian and Ichi. They show up a little bit earlier than most of us, just to play everything out, start setting up. They're the mules, if you will, right? We're the faces. This event doesn't go down without them. They are the reason why this happens. You have to have a squad. You got to have a team. Any event, whether you run a weekly, a regional, one of the biggest majors in the world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you got a tier 1 org or some bullshit org nobody's ever heard of that signs an Aquapaz a player. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're only as good as your squad. You're only as good as your team. No man is an island. You got to have a squad that's ready to put the scene on its back. That's what running events means. It means, you know, damn, you really want to just play right now. You might not be able to. You got to get the brackets ready. You got to get the setup ready. You know, you got to get the stream ready, make sure the stream's running okay. You got to troubleshoot. That's a sacrifice that you have to be prepared to make. Anybody, anywhere can do this. So why the hell aren't you? You know, everybody anywhere can be doing this. If a ragtag group of Americans, bro, we're basically a Final Fantasy party, right? You understand that, right? We're a ragtag group of foreigners and we're immigrants. God, we're immigrants, bro. And we're out here running one of the biggest events in the world for some of these titles. I mean, if we can do it, why the hell can't you? It doesn't make any sense.
Fighting Tuesday has become more than just a local. It's a vision. A small part of the Western FGC culture brought over to Japan to create something unique. For Obama, it's something he wants to see more of moving forward.
I remember what it was like when I first really started playing for real and I first started getting into it for real. I still remember that positive feeling and the desire to recreate that in our own way, our own vision of how that should be on a weekly basis. That was really important to us, I think. Just the notion of, look, man, sit down, let's play. Let's play. You're at this level, I'm at this level. That's okay, let's figure it out. I'm gonna talk shit on you the whole time, but hang in there, but figure it out. I'm gonna coach you, I'm gonna help you grow. Even those little interactions back home, right? That was fundamental in shaping the way that I value and the way that I see the scene. And even if a lot of the ideals that our scene was built upon, even if those turned out to be, you know, falsehoods or whatever, the thing with me is, it doesn't deter me from pursuing what my vision of what this could be, what it should be. And I want people at home, whatever your vision of the scene is for that, having it go from the top down doesn't work for us, I think. You gotta start from the ground level. You gotta take that attitude to your weekly. You gotta take that attitude to your monthly. You gotta take that attitude to your regional. You gotta take it to your major. It's on us, on the ground level. Whatever you stand by, whether it's, you know, just shutting up and playing, whether it's training people, whether it's teaching people, whether it's growing, you have to have how you view the community and your ideals, you have to take that to the ground level.
Thank you for watching our look at Fighting Tuesday. Our work is 100% supported by our patrons, like these guys. If you like what you watch and want to help us make more, consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/holdbacktoblock. And as always, support your locals.